Hey everyone, Michigan 1777 here. Just wanted to talk today. I got the Xperia 1, as you can see right here. Great quality product so far, very happy with it. There are many things that I do love about the phone. There are a couple things that I don't care for, but overall, very pleased with the device. And I'm gonna go in on this video and talk about the 5 things that I really enjoy about this device after over 36 hours of use. This is the US model, it's the black version. I heard that some people, Jay Williams and a few other people, are having issues with the purple version of their device, and I'm hoping that gets solved. It sounds like that they're having hardware issues as opposed to the software issues, which kind of stinks. In response to Jay Williams' problem, he couldn't record over a minute of 4K video. And on mine, I actually followed up and I did a test for myself to see how long that this phone would last without overheating. I got to 14 minutes and 28 seconds of 4K HDR video before the camera said it had to close out due to overheating. So I think his is a hardware issue, and I'm hoping it gets situated. Overall, though, I have had no crashes, no boot loops, no anything. The UI has been on. I haven't shut this phone off since I bought it. I've just charged it, and it's been in standby mode, and that's about it. But I'm just going to get into the 5 things now. So to start, the ambient display. I love how simple it is. You can see here just the time here. You can actually customize this clock into whatever format you like. It also shows for me the weather and the battery percentage. It'll show any important notifications that you have, and it'll flash them. I think it's 8 to 10 times, and then it'll stop doing that, and it'll just show you that you have a notification. So that's really nice. There's also a notification LED up here, so that makes it really nice as well. You can do a dynamic ambient display as well as an always-on ambient display. I like an always-on display. And the really nice thing about this is Sony knows that this is an OLED panel, so the ambient display will actually move up and down the screen in increments of 5 to 8 minutes, which is really good. It prevents burn-in, which is what you don't want on a phone, so they definitely had that in mind when they were making this. Now going on to my next point, the next thing I really like is the OLED display in itself. And as you can see here, it's an OLED panel, 21:9. Very tall aspect ratio, and it looks stellar. The very nice thing about OLED is if you want to save battery, you can choose a darker background, which in my case, I'm just doing a star field. You might be able to pick that up on the camera. And if you do a star field, or say a darker background, each pixel is illuminated separately. So if you do a darker background and some of the pixels aren't turned on, it will actually save the battery, which is really nice to see. The overall quality of the display is excellent, and the peak brightness on it I think was measured at 650 nits, which is a bit deceptive, and I must say. People are saying, the Galaxy reaches over to 1200 nits on manual. This thing actually I think goes over 1000 nits. If you have adaptive display on, and that's the key. If you have the adaptive display on, the sensor up here will recognize that in direct sunlight, you need more brightness, and it will increase the overall brightness. This is the first thing I tested when I got the phone. My Xperia XZ Premium, which I'm recording this with, actually did the same thing. If you were in direct sunlight, it would increase the max brightness to, I don't know how bright it was probably about 800 nits before the IPS panel was completely just colorless pretty much because of how bright it was. But this phone will do the same thing. It'll peak over 1000 nits in direct sunlight, and the sensor will pick that up, but only if you are in adaptive brightness. If you are in manual brightness and you have it turned all the way up, you will not get the same quality brightness as compared to the adaptive. So that's in response to some of the reviewers out there who were having issues with the overall peak brightness in sunlight. The next thing I really like is the camera. There's obviously the Cinema Pro app, as well as the actual camera app, which you can cycle between the different camera options down here. I typically use manual mode. And the big thing about manual mode is you can set everything on auto, which I do automatically. There's HDR on and off, which obviously you use. The only downside to this is you can't use the 2x in the ultra wide. You can only use those in auto mode or in the Cinema Pro app. So the Cinema Pro app overall is really nice too. I also downloaded Filmic Pro. I'm going to give that a little bit of work as well to figure out which camera apps I really like. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the battery. The overall battery, this thing is a battery champ. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, the battery is going to be the kicker. It's going to be the really big issue we have and everything else. For me, it actually hasn't been a bad battery. Actually, I've gotten well over a day's use. No problems at all. Been very pleased with the overall quality of the battery life itself. And I just need to say too, I mean, if you overcharge the battery, or if you're sitting there and you are only down to 50% battery. The smart charging on this and the quick charge on this is insane. I was sitting there with 52% battery at one point after watching some videos. I threw it on the charger for 25 minutes. I was up to 90% battery. Nuts. Absolutely crazy, especially after coming from the XC Premium. I was able to get a much better battery life, and with the OLED panel on it and having the self-emissive pixels, I'm getting well over 5 to 7 typically battery life, typically up into the 6.5 range, and that's minimum. I mean, I can do a lot more if I just do a little bit more battery management. And the phone is also smart. It will adapt to your usage and will generate, or it will assign resources to which apps you use the most. The overall quality of the battery is really nice as well. I'm really pleased just in general with the capacity. I don't think it's a negative. Like a lot of reviewers are saying, oh, it's average. Honestly, I'm pretty happy. I can easily get over a day, easily. And I'm normally a pretty hardcore user. I don't really play games. I think the only times that the battery kind of suffers is if I'm recording a lot of video, but that's okay. Now, the overall usability of the device is really nice as well. Being that it is 21:9, it fits in your hand very nicely. As you can see, it fits my hand very well. I don't feel like I'm really stretching anything else. I don't feel like it's unwieldy like some of the other larger phones on the market. So I'm very happy with the overall display quality, the size of the phone, everything else. And I think it's a very good phone for 2019. I think a lot of reviewers were kind of dogging on it a little bit. And I don't think it deserves that. I think it's, honestly, I think this is probably one of the best panels out there in terms of a smartphone. I went to Best Buy the other day and a guy was using his Galaxy, his S10 Plus, and he saw this and I was showing him just the quality of the display, and he's like, wow, I even noticed the sharpness from the 4K panel is just so much nicer than on my Galaxy. You pick up on it, and that's the big thing. People don't realize it. The text and whatever else is really clean, and that's what you want to look at, is just, if it's not straining your eyes as much, that's a really good thing. I haven't had any stuttering issues or anything. The phone runs like a champion. The apps and stuff work just fine. Some of them are not in 21:9, obviously, which is to be expected. And that's something I'll actually go on to talk about later in a few things that I didn't care for on the phone. But overall, very pleased with the device. If you're considering getting this device, I recommend it. I don't think the price is too bad. Honestly, in a couple months, not even a couple months, I bet you this will drop in price. And if you're looking at getting a new smartphone in 2019, definitely check this out. I think you'll be very pleased with it. From what I'm hearing, though, if you're in the US, get the black version, because that seems to be the one that's working out better than the purple version for some reason. But overall, very happy. If you guys have any questions about the device, please comment. I would be really happy to reach out and talk to you about any issues or any positives that you might have about the device that you want to hear about. I'll be putting more Filmic Pro stuff and some Cinema Pro stuff up later. But as for now, I just wanted to give a general overview of my feelings so far. Also, real quick, Olexar, it's a Chinese brand, makes a case, clear case for this, and love it. $5.99 on Amazon. Olexar, you can see it down here. Olixar. It's a clear case. Great case, honestly. I had one before and it was a hard case and it just didn't work out for this device, but I'll leave a link in the description of this case because I really like a clear case. I want everyone to see Xperia on the back and do my own little Sony advertising in its own right. So, but anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be able to answer some of your questions. Anyway, have a great day, great evening, whatever it might be in your area, and I'll talk to y'all later.